I basically laid on a couch listening to music my whole life. That was my job, and what I did not for my job. It's what I like to do, and that's all I did. And then, and I was vegan for 22 years and got very big. I weighed 320 pounds, 318 at my max with no exercise. So it's only just not good, huge. And I went out to lunch with Mo Austin, who just recently passed away, who was he was Frank Sinatra's attorney, and then he ran Warner Brothers and Reprise. You might have met him through Warner Brothers. If you were on Warner Brothers, Mo Austin was the chairman of Warner Brothers Records. Beautiful guy. He signed the Sex Pistols. He signed Jimi Hendrix. He signed Black Sabbath. Amazing guy. And he was one of my mentors in the music business. And we went out to lunch one day, and he said, Rick, I know you watch what you eat, and you take care of yourself, but you're really getting big, and I'm worried about you, and I want you to I'm going to get the name of a nutritionist, and I want you to go to my guy and do whatever he says. And I said, okay, I'll do whatever you say, knowing it's not going to work because I've been overweight my whole life and nothing ever worked.
But you didn't look overweight in that Red Hot Chili Peppers thing.
That was a weird moment in time. It was like a weird moment. I had just moved to California. I worked out with a trainer that Dice connected me with for the first time and was in, well, I still was not in good shape, but I was in better shape than at any point prior to that, and that was before I became a vegan. The vegan thing really took me down a dark path.
How so?
Well, I was eating chicken and vegetables, and I was healthier then. And then a friend of mine gave me a book called Diet for a New America, and he said, if you read this book, you're not going to want to eat chicken anymore. And I said, well, I already gave up everything else. I'd given up red meat. I'd given up soda. I used to drink a 64-ounce Pepsi with every meal. I grew up eating Jack in the Box and McDonald's every day. I grew up on fast food. My mom was a terrible cook. So I didn't have a good relationship with food. And then I started giving things up when I was in college, and I'm not even sure why. I don't know why. I don't know why I decided to give up Pepsi Cola and start drinking a pitcher of coffee instead, iced coffee instead, which is what switched. But I didn't know why I did that. I just did that. And then I stopped that caffeine and just drank water. And then gave up red meat, gave up basically everything other than chicken and vegetables. And then I started getting in better shape when I was eating chicken and vegetables. And then I met Dice's trainer, started training, got into better shape. And then I read this vegan book, became a vegan, and then it all went the other way for 22 years till I got very big.
And what about veganism got you that big?
It's a carb-only diet. It's just carbs.
But were you eating vegetables or were you eating pizza? Like what were you?
Vegetables, pizza, whatever they serve in the vegetarian restaurant. They would serve like it'd be like a tofu steak with a gluten brown sauce. Super unhealthy stuff. But I didn't know. I thought I was eating healthy.
Right.
It was just bad information.
And so what shifted? What did you do to shift it?
I read a book. So now I'm big and I'm unhealthy. And I read a book by a guy named Stu Middleman who ran 1,000 miles in 11 days. And I remember thinking, how can it be? How can we both be human beings? And if I walk to the end of the block, I'm exhausted and out of breath. And there's a human on the planet who can run 1,000 miles in 11 days. I don't have good information. I'm doing something wrong. Because it's not like I was lazy. I was diligent. I just had bad information. It's hard being a vegan. It was hard being a vegan, harder to be a vegan then when nobody was a vegan. There weren't vegetarian restaurants all over the place. There was one. There was Real Food Daily. It was the only place you could eat. So I read the Stu Middleman book, and he talks about meeting this performance expert, Phil Maffetone, who changed the way he trained, and that's why he could run 1,000 miles in 11 days. So it's like, okay, Phil Maffetone is the answer. I email Phil Maffetone. I want to become your patient. And he said he just retired, gave up his medical practice and isn't doing that anymore. And he gave up doing medicine to pursue his dream of being a songwriter. And I said, well, I work in music. Maybe you can mentor me with my health and fitness, and I'll help you with your songs. And we became friends, and he started treating me. He very much wanted me to eat animal protein, which I wouldn't do because I was a vegan. He got me to eat fish and eggs to get animal protein, neither of which I liked at any point in my life. Growing up, I didn't eat eggs, and I never liked fish. So he said, don't even think of it as food. Just think of it as medicine. You need this medicine. And I started eating fish and eggs. And he ended up living with me for 2 years, Phil. And he was with me all the time. He trained me. He got me to do, heart rate-based cardio, doing stairs, but still super low level. I was still big, but still getting my my system turned back on, getting my vitality back. And I got much healthier working with Phil, and I didn't lose any weight. I might have lost 5 pounds over 2 years. And he's living with me, and he said, I watch everything you eat. I watch how you train. He said, 999 people out of 1,000 who are doing what you're doing, all their weight would fall off. For some reason, yours is not coming off. Couldn't figure it out. And then I was thinking, well, my mom was obese. It's just a genetic thing. I've always been overweight. It's just what it is. And then the thing happened with Mo where I was really big. Now I'm healthier, but still big. Go out to lunch with Mo. He sends me to his nutritionist. I go to see the guy, and he puts me on 7 protein shakes a day, like egg white protein, 7 a day, and then fish, soup, salad for dinner, like super low calorie, high protein, no carb diet. And in 14 months, I lost 130 pounds.
Whoa.
And it was like a miracle because nothing, over the course of my life, nothing had worked. I guess in some ways when I was doing chicken and vegetables, it worked.
Why didn't you go back to chicken and vegetables if that worked?
Because I believe veganism was good. It's like I was brainwashed.
So did you believe it was good for the planet, or did you believe
Both.
it was good?
The healthiest diet in the world.
How is that possible that you could look at your own body, though, and the effects that it was having on it?
Didn't make sense.
And you were just, there's something wrong with me.
Something's
it's not
wrong with
wrong
me.
with the diet itself.
Yeah, it's not the diet, it's me.